YouTube? It's UechiCannon. It's been a long time since I've vlogged. Thanks for sticking around, except for those 3 subscribers who unsubscribed. They'll never know that I said thank you. What's going on? What's exciting? What's new? What you wearing? Huh? What you wear? Oh, scandalous. What do I have new? I don't think I got anything new. Just working like a dog, as usual. And not really... It's actually been raining here a lot. So I haven't been riding my bike as much as I wish I was. That being said, there's been a lot of overtime at work, so even if it wasn't raining, I was stuck doing that, and that's all I got. That's really it. Where am I going? Intro. Yeah, we'll get to the intro right now. It's good to be back. I'm happy to be spending some time with you. I am currently in the city of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, my old hometown. Just had a birthday dinner with my mom. Yeah, I got together with my sister, my brother-in-law, my dad, my grandma. The only person who wasn't there is my brother, and that's because he lives in the Middle East. I'm not Middle Eastern, neither is my family, but my brother works out in the Emirates and makes money tax-free. Son of a bitch. Except I lied. It's not a son of a bitch, because that's my mom that he's the son of. That would be me calling my mom a bitch, and my mom's an amazing lady. Ah, shit. I've done fucked everything up now. Yeah, it's green light. We should just go, pals. I believe in you. There we go. Pedal to the metal. You gonna go? Ah, son of a bitch, man. Yeah, so you're watching UechiCannon. I'm UechiCannon. Thanks for tuning in for my newest vlog. Okay, so this vlog is gonna be about equality and the hypocrisy that goes along with equality. And so my first order of business, I suppose, is to clarify that I am not a racist. I am not prejudiced against people's sexual orientation or the countries in which they hail from or whatever. Skin color, doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. Anything goes. So that being said, here goes my rant, and it's gonna sound like I'm picking on somebody, but I'm not, I swear. So here in Canada, we call our native Canadians just exactly that. They're called Native Canadians or natives, and Inuits as well. I mean, I think they're Inuits nowadays. Now, I say I think because it changes all the time. So I know that in the United States you call your Native Americans either Native Americans or Indians, and it's specifically that way. You don't, you know what I mean? And it bounces back and forth between Indians and Native Americans and whatever. Here, even calling them Indians is you getting shit for it, you know? Like, oh man, you're such a racist for calling them Indians. I get it. Indians are from India. And there was all just one giant fuck up in the beginning. They thought they were in India and they weren't. And so, yeah. That being said, I'm talking about equality, and here in Canada, the Native Canadians, well, I shouldn't say all of them, a majority of them, a large majority of them, receive what's known as a treaty check. And a treaty check is exactly that. It's a check for a treaty. And basically, what this check is the reparations that white people have to pay the Native Canadians, I should say, for having taken their land way back in the day, for pennies on the dollars, for smallpox blankets, or whatever the hell it was. And now, in the news recently, there was a huge upset, I guess, claiming that the police don't investigate murders of Native women as thoroughly or as often as a murder of a non-Native woman. And I should clarify that well, actually, you know what? In this city, Edmonton, there is a large number of Native women who are murdered and disappear, and they'll find them in just like random places. Like, actually, one of them was found out by where I live in Fort Saskatchewan, and they don't know who. They think it was a serial killer, and they caught a guy who was actually from Fort Saskatchewan who had she was a hooker. He had a hooker's body in a hockey bag, and that guy's the creepiest son of a bitch you'll ever see. His name is Thomas Svekla, and I only know that name because I got called to a gas emergency in this lady's house, and this lady happened to be his mom, and she had like a shrine to him. It was fucking weird. Anyways, I digress. The claims that the police don't do as good of a job investigating crimes against Native people as they do when there's crimes against everybody else. And I find that very difficult to swallow, because I know people who are police officers, and I know that they work just as hard if the person's black or white or Asian or Hispanic or Native. They work equally as hard to find the person who did it. And I find that whoever is coming up with these claims really has no proof. So what they've done is they brought in all the premiers of the provinces. So premiers for United States folks are like governors, I suppose. You'd have governor of Arizona and Alaska and California, whatever. We have premiers of Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Ontario, etc., etc. And they brought them all together, and the consensus was, oh yeah, there needs to be more done to protect these Native women. And the Prime Minister of the country said, you know what, this is dumb. Police officers treat a crime like a crime. They solve the crime. End of story. This doesn't need to be taken any further. And I agree with him, to be honest with you, because I'll bet you, if you look back in history to the unsolved crimes, you would find that a large majority of the people who are missing, or who were missing and found murdered, were in fact white. And like I said, this isn't a racial issue. They want it to sound like a racial issue, and it's really not. So they're asking for equality. They want equality in the eyes of everybody. And this is where the treaty check comes into play. So my family, the family on my dad's side, my parents are still together, so don't think that they're not. Just the way I'm going to talk about it might sound like that. The family on my dad's side is from France, and all their family came from France, basically. So my mom, her mother is Belgian and Spanish, and her father was Scottish. And so they came here long after any land had been taken from the natives, okay? And yet, on my paycheck, there is a chunk of money that I have worked for that is taken and put in a federal government coffer, and then eventually put into a check for these treaty checks. And what I don't understand is why, after hundreds of years, and I'm literally talking hundreds of years, why I am still paying for things that have happened, you know? And when I start thinking about it more and more, I start digging deeper and I say, okay, let's get some real world examples. You have Germany, obviously, who slaughtered Jews and Polish people and handicapped people and gay people. Why are these people, or the family, I shouldn't say these people, I should say the families of these people, generations after, why are they not getting a check from Germany every month, you know, as a reparation for what we've done? Then I start thinking about it some more, and I go, okay, well, my family on my mom's side is part Scottish. And people from up north, you know, Vikings, came down through Scotland and raped and pillaged. And so why am I not getting a check from them? Or even in Gaul, France, which isn't around anymore, but the area of France that was called Gaul, had Vikings going through there. And we all know that's where my dad's family from, because I just let you know. So why am I not getting money? You know, and it's just, I find it hard to take somebody seriously when they say, all we want is equality, just equality, 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 but yet they get upset if even the idea of taking away the perks that they have, you know what I mean, are put on the table. So you try taking away a Native person's treaty check and they're going to be upset, because that is in fact free money and they're entitled to it by law. But how can you begin to ask for equality if you're unequal in the first place? Now, you're not unequal when it comes to the law. You're not unequal when it comes to payments at the bank or anything. But what you are unequal is the price of booze, the price of cigarettes, the subsidized housing, all of that stuff is really low because the government takes care of them. Plus, there's a check that comes in the mail bearing large quantities of money, so they don't need to work. And I find this is like, I get it, I sound like I'm a racist, but I swear I'm not. The African Americans who are in the States were enslaved forever and a half. Now, they asked for reparations, which is money, monetary or whatever, given to them, right? But the government said, you know what, it's on a personal basis. So if the family wants to pay you reparations for what they did to your great-great-great-grandpa, by all means go for it. But we're not going to make it mandatory. And what that has done is that has shown African Americans how to work hard, and they are some of the hardest workers you can find. And I mean, I'm sure you could find black dudes who don't work, and I'm sure, like, here you can find natives who don't work, like, all over the place, but there are those who do work, don't get me wrong. What I think, though, is that the black people of the States didn't have to rely on a crutch, you know? I think that if you're relying on a crutch, you're going to never get better. You're always going to be reliant on that crutch. If you don't start walking on your own, you know, then you're just another cripple to society. And I find that the hypocrisy behind equality in this situation is just mind-blowing. And I don't understand why none of my family had anything to do with it, but why am I one of the poor fuckers who has to pay? You know, I'm paying for something I didn't do. I'm paying for something my family didn't do. You know what? If my grandpa was the one who took land away, I would still be pissed off, because that's not me. That would have been my grandpa's decision, you know? And I don't know. I'm torn. I realize it sounds racist. I don't give two shits. I have friends who are native, and they completely agree with me. But then again, there are also the natives who aren't getting treaty checks. I should also clarify that not all natives get treaty checks. Treaty being the original agreement that was signed between them and whoever came over here and shit. So, moral of the story, if we're gonna be equal, best be equal. Nobody gets anything extra. I never got my school paid for. I was in debt because I had to take out loans for school. And there are certain amongst them who are paid to go to school. They get their treaty check and they get free schooling. And I've seen it many times that the schooling was just wasted because they didn't have to work for it. And that bothers me because I worked my ass off and I still worked my ass off after. Anyways, I should slow down because on this road, last week I ended up getting a speeding ticket. Week before, whatever. And I'm fucking just blazing, and I all of a sudden see this cop's lights behind me, like way behind me. I was like, oh shit, I should pull over to let this cop go past me. So I pull over, and the cop pulls right behind me, and I'm just like, ah, son of a bitch. So I ended up with a $177 ticket because I wasn't paying attention to my speed, and I was going 143 in 100 zone. I was like, fuck. She's like, first of all, I would like to thank you for stopping because you could have taken off and I would have never been able to follow you. I was like, shit, should have kept going. And yeah, I was just, completely in my own brain. I was just kind of zoned out, and I was going $143 in 100, and she's like, clocked you doing 143. Is there any reason why you were going that fast? And I look at her, I was just like, I know you probably hear this all the time, but I had no idea I was going 143. I was just like, no, I was just completely zoned out. And she's like, yeah, that's the problem with these motorcycles. They're really dangerous. And I mean, granted, they are dangerous, far more dangerous than cars. But if you drive them with respect, then, you can be as safe as possible. I mean, I always have the opportunity of falling off the motorcycle or driving off the road or hitting somebody, and it's going to hurt me more because this motorcycle is going to stop immediately and I'm still going to be going a buck whatever. See that in the air right there? Canadian geese. They are migrating. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge because it's getting cold out here. Anyways, guys, moral of the story, don't speed, and if there is a cop who's following you that is not close enough to see your license plate, might I suggest speeding up and taking a little detour of a residential area. Once your bike is off, she has no proof that it was you. So, just saying. Yeah, anyways, peace and love, guys. I realize this is a long vlog. I'm sorry if I came off racist. I actually love everybody. I really, really do. And I just want peace amongst everybody. And I think that peace can only happen if people are equal. And I'm not talking socialism or anything like that. I'm just saying we can't treat people different and then expect them to feel the same. So, like I said, peace and love to you all. See you later. UechiCannon, riding into a storm. I'm out of here.